Action like that done tirelessly by Africare for more than 30 years, usually behind the scenes and out of the headlines. You know our headlines aren't too cheerful these days, but they are small compared to what Africans face every day. Malaria, unsafe water, civil war, inadequate schools, devastating poverty, just to name a few. I got a glimpse of what extreme poverty really means when I visited villages in places like Ghana and Tanzania. And you can read about poverty in books like Jeffrey Sachs' Into Poverty, but it is much more powerful to see the face of extreme poverty on real live human beings. People who are no different than you or me. People who remind you of your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your children, only they happen to be born there instead of here. Then it hits home just how difficult it is to live on less than $1 a day. Now, I didn't grow up with a lot, but it was the first time I had witnessed that kind of poverty. It means that if you are a parent, you watch your kids die preventable deaths from diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, or AIDS. If you are a child, you often can't get an education, and even if you do, you often go to school hungry. If you're a grandmother, you may not have clean drinking water or shoes, and you may raise your orphaned grandchildren. Once you bear witness to the truth of how these people live, can you accept that? Should we accept that? I founded the Show Me campaign because I couldn't accept that without making an effort to do something about it. The mission of the Show Me campaign is to break the cycle of poverty through solutions that have been proven to improve people's lives and to give them the opportunities to not only survive, but to thrive and to succeed and to help themselves. The Show Me campaign worked with Millennium Promise to adopt a village in Tanzania, and we are raising money to provide things like agricultural education and fertilizer to farmers, access to clean drinking water, medicine and bed nets to prevent and cure malaria, and schools, teachers, and lunches that ensure young people receive quality educations. We're just trying to do our part, doing the kind of work that Africare has helped to pioneer. It's not easy work. We're making progress, but we must continue our steadfast support of Africa. I don't know if you realize this, but next year, 2010, is the year that marks our being 2/3 of the way to 2015, the finish line for the Millennium Development Goals. These goals, the world's attempt to say that extreme poverty is unacceptable, are unfortunately not looking like they will be met. Some progress has certainly been made, but much remains to be done, especially in Africa. Africa still lags farthest behind on many measures, like education, maternal health, malnutrition. Now, I know that everyone in this room realizes that our collective future depends on Africa's future. We all need Africa to be healthy, peaceful, and prosperous. But for Africa to thrive, we need to meet the Millennium Development Goals. Everyone in this room needs to do something, anything, that will help our African brothers and sisters have the same sorts of opportunities that you and I enjoy. You need to support organizations like Africare. And you need to remember that even during a tough year for us here, even during a recession, the needs there are so much worse. Now, some of you maybe didn't think to hear all this from a singer tonight. And as someone who is often called a soul singer, I'm often asked to define what soul is. Searching for that truth I mentioned earlier is in many ways the same as searching for your soul. Soul is hard to define, but I do believe that soulfulness and truth are closely related. Soul isn't about a particular race or a genre of music. Bruce Springsteen can be soulful. Lil Wayne can be soulful. Frank Sinatra can be soulful. And we all know that Aretha Franklin is soulful. Yes. Soul is about authenticity. Soul is about finding the things in your life that are real, the things that are right, the things that are at your core, the things you know you were put on this earth to do. Sometimes I find this on stage. Sometimes there's that perfect moment when the crowd, the music, the energy of the room come together in a way that brings me to tears. I've definitely found soul in my philanthropic work, in the face of a little girl in Tanzania who, despite having every challenge you can imagine, looks up at me with bright eyes and confidently tells me she will be a teacher someday, she will be a doctor someday, and I believe her. And I see soul at home in the inspired focus of the grade school students at the Harlem Village Academy, where they name their classrooms after the universities they plan to attend in the future. And looking out across this distinguished crowd, I know I see some soul in you. And as we all leave here tonight and continue to live our lives, seek the truth, and do our jobs, let's do it with soul. Thank you again for this honor, and God bless you. Have a good night. Thank you.
And I think Frank Fountain has some remarks to make while we present you with your beautiful award. I know we've all been waiting to see it, so here it is, Frank Fountain.